In this video, I'll be testing this Columbia Mammoth Creek 10-person cabin tent against rain. It was raining almost the whole time while I was using this tent, and I put this tent through not only light but moderate rainfall, so I've got lots of interesting results to share with you. The Rainfly only partially covers this Columbia 10-person tent, which is to prevent water from seeping in through the ceiling mesh. The vertical seams on the Rainfly that protect the tent have all been taped, as you can see here. The roof of this tent is curved, so water doesn't collect at the top and instead drips down. However, because the Rainfly is quite small, even with just light rainfall, rain does get on the window mesh, so it's best to keep these windows closed while it's raining. Thankfully though, there are two of these tilted or pull-out windows that you can leave open even when it's raining. As you can see here, in light to moderate rain, water doesn't get into the tent through these windows. This Columbia 10-person tent has bathtub flooring that's about this high. I think it's about 6 inches, but I forgot to measure it. I found the bathtub flooring really useful though. It was raining for many hours at a time, the yard was partially flooded, and this Columbia tent was sitting in about an inch of water, but not much water leaked into the tent except through the corners of the tent. After an entire night of light to moderate rain, some water started leaking through the corners by the next morning. Here's what the Columbia tent looked like after an entire night of raining. It's manageable, not flooded, but the corners do need to be sealed. Apart from the corners, no water leaked through the flooring, and it was still dry after many hours of rainfall. Which seams are taped and which aren't. The vertical seams on the tent body are all taped up to a certain point. The topmost horizontal seam is not taped, but that's okay because it's protected by the Rainfly anyway, and I did not notice any leaking. The second seam from the top is taped, and finally the bottommost horizontal seam that connects the blue tent fabric and the flooring has also been seam taped. The windows have all been seam taped, and so have all the doors. The ground vent has also been seam taped quite thoroughly. This Columbia 10-person cabin tent had small thoughtful details like a zipper pouch for the door, as well as this rain cover or rain collar thing, so I had no issues with leaking with any of the two doors in the tent. As for the fabric of the main tent body, even after hours of rain, none of the fabric was wet. Even this lighter blue Columbia fabric that was more exposed to the rain was not wet at all. Overall, I was quite impressed with how this Columbia Mammoth Creek 10-person cabin tent held up to rain. I meant to test it for only an hour like most of my other tents, and after 60 minutes of moderate rain, I noticed no leaks at all. The fabric and flooring were still bone dry, and not even the corners were leaking. But since it continued to rain for many hours while I was using this Columbia tent, I decided to just record the results anyway. The corners started leaking after an entire night of raining, and these are the results after about 10 hours or so of raining. And also, I noticed that water did drip into the tent through this seam tape because it's slightly damaged. It's an easy fix though, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. For a full review on this Columbia Mammoth Creek 10-person cabin tent, or if you need to learn how to set this up, check out these two videos right here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.